Hi there, welcome to a new week. This week's going to look a little different than previous weeks. It's actually going to look a lot different. We will not be having our Play Pause It quiz, nor will we be having a discussion this week. And the reason I cut those two activities out is because I'm going to give students an opportunity to redo a couple of assignments that we had some pretty big issues with over the last couple weeks. So for everyone, I'm going to show you what's due on the 4th. And then for people who are needing to redo these activities, I'm going to give you instructions on that separately. So let's start with our overview and checklist. Okay, so we are going to talk about autism today and this week. Because there's a full class about autism, I'm not going into complete depth when it comes to autism. I am going to have you hear from the expert herself, Debbie Lafranchini. You are going to have a lecture and an assignment corresponding with that lecture, but it's not going to be a quiz. It's only going to be a reflection based on the lecture. And then you're also going to take a look at the DSM-5, which is how autism is diagnosed, and you're going to look at some of the characteristics and plan activities for a child who would be diagnosed with one of the levels of autism. So these are the two assignments for everyone, the autism lecture response and the read and create. The two assignments for anyone who needs to resubmit are also going to be located in this module, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm expecting. And the resubmissions are due on the 4th. So for all of you who are satisfied with your grade, are happy that it's completed, and you got a decent grade on it, you do not have to resubmit. The grade that you have right now will be your permanent grade. But if you are looking at your grade and you are not happy with it, I am going to open up for resubmissions, okay? Let me go to these two assignments. So the first one is going to be your read and complete. So an example that I have below, first of all, you're going to be using the Autism Speaks website to look at how autism is diagnosed into 3 different levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. And then you're going to see specific characteristics within each level and look at functioning within each level. When you're looking at functioning and you're looking at characteristics, what I'm asking you to do is name the autism level first, and then name the characteristic within that autism level, and then come up with an activity that would support the child who is experiencing that characteristic. And here's the example I've provided to you. So you'd list the autism level 2, you'd list the characteristic in a little bit more detail, but self-harm, specifically head banging. So the child is engaging in self-harm behaviors and banging their head on the floor and on their table. The activity that I have created in order to support the child's self-harming behavior is in the area described, an activity that would support the child in decreasing self-harming behaviors and encourage safe ways to let out frustration. So what you would do is say, I would have a sensory area where a child could maybe squeeze things or have something soft around them. If they needed to hit their head, that they would be in a safe place to do so, that the child would be able to have a sensory area that they can go to in order to release some of that frustration or get some of that regulatory behavior out, so that they can focus on what they needed to do as far as the content and the academic part of their day goes. So you're going to think of an activity. This could be anything that would support the child in reducing the head banging or the self-harming behavior. So pick a level, pick a characteristic, design an activity. You don't have to make anything, you don't have to buy anything. This is just practice and what could you think of to meet this child's need, okay? All right. The next activity, you will be watching Debbie Lafranchini's video. It's about an hour long. And once you complete the video, you will be completing a 3-paragraph summary of what you learn. If you take any specific information from her video, direct quotes, they need to be quoted with quotation marks and cited. And so you can use her name to cite her, you can use the video title to cite her, but you do need to give her credit if you list anything she says verbatim. 3 paragraphs. So a paragraph is 6 to 8 sentences, full sentences. So there is a lot of information in here. So I'm hoping that you are able to get your 3 paragraphs no problem. Okay. So those are the 2 required activities for everyone. Now I'm going to talk to you about the resubmissions. What I noticed in the past few weeks with these 2 different assignments is there was a high level of plagiarism. Now, the college requires me to report plagiarism in all instances and give zeros on assignments. Although typically I do follow that rule, I want to believe that this was an error in understanding and not intentional copying somebody else's work. So what I'm going to do for these 2 assignments is allow you to resubmit in your own words. And what I've done, so for this first assignment, I provided you with 2 examples, and I've asked these students if I could use their examples of how to write the information that you're getting in each of these websites and write them in your own words. So I will allow you to resubmit. And then the next assignment is the law pamphlets. I'll be honest, I was so disappointed with so many groups not being able to communicate effectively. This was supposed to be practice for your professional lives where you're going to have to communicate with people that you might have conflicting personalities with. And so even though this didn't go well, I want to let students who would like to improve their grades resubmit for another grade. So if you'd like to submit independently, let me know and I will break up your law pamphlet groups and allow you to submit independently. There were a few groups that did an excellent job working together and it shows in their final product. So what I've done is, just like for the previous example, I have outlined and included 2 different law pamphlets that were exceptionally done as an example. So again, please do not copy and paste. I'm not asking you to copy and paste the legislation. This is a way for me to see what you know about these laws. So please put them in your own words. When you turn it in to turnitin.com, it tells me how similar your words are to the original source. And so typically I don't grade anything over 30% similarity rating, but because you're naming the laws specifically, that's okay to include the names of the laws. But if you are copying and pasting from sources, that crosses the line and that is now plagiarism. So please use your own words. Changing 1 or 2 words within a paragraph still counts as plagiarism. So you are using your own summarization of these laws. Okay. All right. And that is our explanation of these assignments. So I'm hoping that these go well. And I would like to note that if I do see plagiarism going forward, I will begin to give zeros and not allow for resubmission. But these are your opportunities to resubmit if you need to. Okay, if you have any questions, please reach out before you submit. I don't like giving zeros. I want you to feel supported. I want to know that you know this most of all. And so please, please, please contact me before you submit if you're worried about plagiarism. So I hope you have a great week, and I'm so excited to see new versions of your submissions.